Hey everyone, welcome back to Bourbon Battles. I'm Joe.
I'm Chad.
Hey, we got a good one for you today. We're going to get in the bucket of fun and do a blind battle. What do you think about that?
Let's do it.
See you in just a second. Hey, if you haven't joined us before, thanks for joining us now. And how this works is Chad here is going to get into the box where we have a bunch of envelopes with 2 whiskey expressions in them. They're in little packages, and we're going to drink it blind. Inside.
Tell you what we think.
Huh?
Tell you what we think.
Tell you what we think without having any idea what's on the label.
Why don't we have any idea what's on the label?
Well, because we don't give a rat's ass what's on the label. We just like good whiskey, bad whiskey, and medium good whiskey.
And medium bad whiskey.
Medium bad whiskey.
Old whiskey, young whiskey.
New whiskey.
I don't like light whiskey.
You ain't had the right light whiskey.
You're right.
There's probably some out there. You do have some, that stuff you just bought, that Obtainium, isn't that light whiskey?
It's not here yet.
It's like 400 proof.
I know.
I can't
But
wait.
you can read newspaper through it. So that makes me think it's more like something else.
I think it's light whiskey. It's Canadian whiskey, isn't it? From French whiskey.
That's right.
So thanks for joining us again. If you've not seen this, we're going to drink these blind. We just explained to you why. Yeah, let's just get into it.
Okay.
You want to pick? You want me to pick?
You pick. You're closer. Oh, boy.
What do you say? Here we go.
I'll let you open it because you get mad when I try to open
You
it.
just shake it. You're going to break something one of these days. So inside the envelope, you'll find these marked 1 and 2, and a sealed envelope with the answer key. So we'll open that after we do this. And if you've never joined us before, while we're talking about it, we really like it when you go out and like buy something like this Caribou Crossing for $50 and sell it for $150 on Facebook. That's what we like to do, right? That's how we support the channel.
No.
We think that's pretty stupid. Sip it, don't flip it.
You really have to stop saying that.
Why? It's already a done deal. We've already been saying it.
You've been saying it.
You don't say it?
No.
Why? Copyrighted?
Yeah.
No. What should we say instead? Drink it, don't.
Smell it, don't sell it.
Smell it, don't sell it. It's got a pretty good nose on it, number 1.
Doesn't have anything on it. I don't think.
So I get, just on the nose,
Stop.
caramel, oak, shoe leather, tobacco, dandelions, and pomegranate.
You can get radishes?
Old Spice cologne, radishes.
You got it. Okay.
Carrot mustard seed.
I didn't get that.
We don't do tasting notes because we think they're stupid.
Well, and smelling, I mean,
They're not stupid. I get peanuts. Chad doesn't get peanuts in certain
You might get peanuts in this. I don't know what it is.
Chad gets dill. I don't get dill.
That's warm. That's got a lot of ethanol in it. I feel like.
It's got a better nose, I think.
We'll take a sip.
Take a sip and tell us what you think about it.
Ain't bad.
It's pretty good. It's got a sweet flavor to it.
It does. Ain't bad. It's I feel like it's kind of punchy right at the beginning, but then it pretty mellow after that.
It's got something to knock your sock off a little bit.
Yeah.
And you know what happens if you get your socks knocked off by whiskey?
Put on sandals and go on.
No, you can put your socks in the sock tube.
You got to be able to find one first.
I know, they're really elusive. I like that number 1 pretty well. You're never ahead of me. They're both good.
Mm-hmm.
They're very uniquely different. Like
You got a dropper that you even
right there in that cabinet.
even picking your ear with.
Oh, I don't know about that, but there's some droppers in there.
Oh, look at you! Got a bunch of them. Where'd you get them? Did I bring them to you?
You give me 2, and then I got a whole box of sample bottles, and they come with a handful of them.
Jimmy Big Time.
Who is?
You.
Just one. Put one in these. That one. Hang on. So if you're wondering what Chad's doing there, just one drop of water can really open that whiskey in different ways, and to an extent, it can also emulate what it's like to throw an ice cube on it.
Water or
yeah, I think it's a lot more drastic change when you throw a cube in there, an ice cube, or mix it with water. One little drop, I think, really does a lot of things with different whiskeys. It helps some, it hurts some. And if you've never put a drop of water in your whiskey, you get down to half an ounce or so, try that. Just use a cap or something, put a drop in there and see if it changes the flavor profile for you.
I won't say I don't think water helped number one, but I darn sure don't think it hurt it.
It changed it.
Maybe a little bit, but I don't think it made it any worse or any better.
I prefer it without that drop of water. And I think it actually helped number two. I think it smoothed out the edges a little bit.
See, I think it made it worse.
Yeah, you didn't like that. Now,
yeah, I think I didn't like number two with water.
I'm ready to pick whenever
so
you are. So I'd say one of these is a little better.
Yeah, I'm going with the two.
Hey everyone, we just want to take a quick second to tell you about some interesting opportunities Bourbon Battles has for you, the viewer, and thank you so much for watching. Hey, if you go to our website at www.bourbonbattlesblind.com, right here you'll see it. You'll find links to all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikToks, and most importantly, Patreon. Make sure you check that out. Guys, join that Patreon community. It's $5 a month to get started, and you can be a part of an amazing community where we're doing some great things. We share whiskey. We do all kind of great stuff. It's very well worth your while. A couple other things we got for you. If you've never seen this before, this is Private Preserve. It's a wine preserver. I'm drinking a bottle of wine that's been open for over a month now, and it tastes like the day I bought it. But what's great about it, this is what you're interested in. You take your bottles of whiskey that you want to last for a very long time for long-term storage, take this bad boy off, give it a couple squirts, put your cap back on, and with that blend of nitrogen, CO2, and argon, it's going to preserve this for a very long time. You don't have to worry about your whiskey going bad. Also, make sure you check out the link for Hoosier Wood Guy, who's making these barrel heads. If you follow the link at our website to check these out, you get 10% off just for being a Bourbon Battles viewer. Hey, let's get back to the video. A little better also on three. 1, 2, 3. So no surprise. I kind of assumed that would happen. We both picked number one.
And the only reason I picked it is because with water, I thought number one was better than number two with water. That's it.
Yeah, you know how I am. I very rarely change my opinion with water, but you do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll read this one first because it did not win.
Go ahead.
So not winning today. By the way, thank you, Megan, for putting these together for us. Lucky 7, the holdup. So I've never 12-year-old whiskey. So what's interesting is this stuff has become a bit of a unicorn.
Well, in Indiana.
Yeah, you can find it in Kentucky, but
and Illinois.
I've never had the 12-year. I've been very, very anxious to try. I want to get my hands on one of their expressions, what I think is a toasted barrel. You know, it gets rave reviews. Have you had any of the other ones?
Mm-hmm. We've got 2 or 3 different expressions.
Very, very interesting. It's 100 proof.
It's not bonded though. It's 100 proof, but it's not bonded, which is strange.
Unless it's a blend.
Yeah.
Coming out of 2 different distilling seasons. Fun fact, the Lucky 7 namesake is derived from the infamous Stage 7 in Hollywood, California. You like California, don't you? Where some of the greatest movies in cinema history were filmed. The co-founders were college friends. I did not know that that's kind of was the motif behind that. Yeah, I had no idea. I've been very... I saw a bottle of this, you know that liquor store right there by the Harley Davidson in Louisville, next to the cigarette shop? I go in there and they had some Lucky 7s, but they wanted an extra $20 over retail, and I didn't do it. In Indiana, it's not a horrible deal, right? Because you can't buy it here,
right,
as far as I know.
I've never seen it on the shelf in Indiana.
Yeah, so I've been really, really anxious to try that. So I'm really curious to see what you got there.
So
this is what we picked.
Yeah.
Am I going to be surprised?
I don't know.
You seen it?
Nope. 1792 12-year.
Oh.
So that's good. They're both 12 years old.
I'm a big 1792 fan.
They're both pretty close to proof. This is 96.6. The other one's 100, obviously.
This is what this one looks
That's
like.
from Barton, who is your horsey owner, Sazerac.
Here are those gallops.
Mm-hmm. The mash bill, it's marketed as high rye, but it's believed to be 15-25% rye, but it's undisclosed. Fun fact is Barton Distillery was established in 1879 and continues today as the oldest fully operating distillery in the bourbon capital of the world, which is Bardstown.
So they closed tours and everything during COVID because somebody got hurt, fell, or got run over by a barrel.
Who knows?
But they closed.
Okay.
They've recently back opened the gift shop only, as far as from what I understand, so you can pop in and buy their released bottles, right? So 1792.
You know what they make that you really like?
We're getting ready to talk about it.
Okay.
So 1792 is an interesting outfit, right? So the small batch, at least in Indiana, has
everywhere. Everywhere.
Sometimes.
Right now.
Right now it's everywhere, but they go through these runs where you can't find it anywhere.
Right.
And I think in a lot of other states they have a really, you don't see the small batch.
It's the same thing with regular Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, I mean
it's regional. It's all regional.
But we'll call them special releases or other spirits, right? So you've got 12-year. If you guys have never had a 12-year-old whiskey, it's different, right, than your typical 4 to 6, 7-year bourbons, right? You can definitely start to taste different things.
And both of these bottles are for a 12-year-old are really reasonably priced if you can find them at retail.
Yeah, absolutely. But 1792 also has their bottled and bond. People rave about.
Yeah, they got single barrel. They got they've got full proof, which you've done a couple shorts on that.
Love the full proof. It's one of my favorite whiskeys.
They've got a high rye,
which I've never had. Have you had it?
Mm-mm.
Do you own one?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I haven't ever had it.
They've got. They had the old one as a port finish, which we talked to some Patreon members about that. And then they've got.
If you want to learn more about that, join Patreon and see that video.
They've got your sweet wheat.
Sweet wheat's one of the best whiskeys ever made.
You should write them a letter and tell them what you think of it.
I did. They don't. I write and I call and I email and they don't get back with me.
What a surprise!
You believe that?
Yes.
So 1792 is a really interesting outfit, and they do a lot of contract distilling for like Total Wine. A lot of the Total Wine.
Make that one right there.
Stonehammer.
Mm-hmm.
Which
you know why that is? Because their mill is a stone mill. It's a hammer mill.
They mill their own grain there.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So if you've never tried Stonehammer, it's a Kroger only release. And I'll be honest, like Chad and I think we both wanted to hate it, right? Is that Mike? Let's see. Why do you put everybody's name and code in your phone? I don't even want to know what mine's under. So if you've never had Stonehammer, you can only buy it at Kroger. So if you don't have a Kroger in your state, I think you're just SOL.
I think it's exclusive to that chain, which would be like JC, Bash's, Kroger. I mean, the Kroger owns a bunch. Kroger Corp owns a bunch.
But like even like Giant Eagles, they have whiskeys that are exclusive to them. Trader Joe's has whiskeys and wines that are exclusive to them. But 1792 is making a lot of those. So the Stonehammer was interesting. I think we both wanted to hate it. Is that fair?
Yeah. And
it did extremely well in our budget bourbon tournament.
Yeah.
Like extremely well. $29-ish, something like that. It's a good buy, I would say. So, yeah, check that out. 1792, a lot of Total Wine, Spirit Direct. That we kind of have figured out in a Patreon episode that we like a lot of those that they make. I think too. If you guys are interested, keep watching because we're gonna start pulling out stuff that neither one of us has had or stuff that I know that Joe hasn't had, and we might do one-offs or whatever. I mean, I think the mix of the blinds are going to be a lot of it's going to be that way because I know who put the blinds together. But like this was one of my favorite. I've enjoyed this blind more than any we've done in a long time, and the only reason is I've never had the Lucky 7. Well, and like I said, they're both 12 years old, and it's pretty good comparison. So typically speaking, and you tell me if you agree or disagree. 12-year-old bourbon is kind of the top of the mark of what I like. I'm more of like a 8 to 10. Yeah, I mean, like this is good. These are both good. Oh yeah. I buy the Lucky 7 all day long. Mm-hmm. See it at retail, no problem. These buy them all day long. One of the few exceptions for me for these older whiskeys that I really enjoy is the Calumet 16, and I think you were kind of indifferent, right?
I was,
especially for what it costs.
Yeah.
And I was a huge fan of it. So that is one of my favorite whiskeys I've had in a very long time. But no, that's awesome. Again, Megan, thank you very much. That's an awesome battle. Let us know in the comments what you think.
If you guys are around anywhere and you get a chance to pick up a Lucky 7, you should. And I know that if most of the viewers are from Indiana, it's going to be hard to do. But I think we've got some viewers from around the central Midwest, and we got people that travel and everything. People know people in other states. I mean, it's worth having a bottle of it.
And I would say, like, if you're from Indiana, right, like tons of the people we talk to, and that's mostly Patreon members because we talk to them a lot, are from central Indiana. But they all go, if you're going down to the Bourbon Trail, you live in central Indiana, I would say go find a liquor store if you got to go to 2 or 3. I don't know how difficult this stuff is to find. I grabbed one.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they, $70?
I didn't think that one was that much.
Yeah, I mean, that
came from Springfield, Illinois.
They have multiple expressions, right? They have a toasted barrel, different age stuff, single barrels. I have no idea if they do store picks, but if they do, I would say definitely grab one if they do that. But yeah, so I'm going to talk Chad into leaving what's a little bit left in there, and I'm going to save that for a rainy day. I really enjoyed that. Obviously did prefer that a little bit, but I have that. I don't have that, and I got to have one now.
I think they were both good. Like I said, I think this one, with that drop of water, I think this one was way worse, and this one, it didn't really affect it. So that's why I went with the number
I almost went and poured that out, but I thought, no, I'm going to set that on the shelf for a rainy day. Or if somebody comes over and has never had it before, we'll split it. Hey, that's why we drink them blind. That was fun. Get with your friends that have different whiskeys and set these blinds up.
It's fun to do blind. It will enlighten you to your palate, and you will start to realize that, you know what, I shouldn't have been doing what I've been doing for the last 2 years.
There's a lot of hype in whiskey that's
80% marketing.
Yeah, and if you didn't see our budget tournament, which was whiskeys under $25,
check it out.
Check it out. That whole thing's been out now, and I think we both learned. We were both very surprised with a lot of stuff that happened in that tournament.
Yeah.
And that's why we drink it blind. I mean, So, but at the end of the day, drinking bourbon's supposed to be fun. Do it with your friends. Do it responsibly. Don't drink and drive.
Please don't.
If you drink, don't drive. Do the watermelon crawl.